Chicago, the city of big shoulders. For over a century, this architectural powerhouse defined the American skyline with bold innovation. Birthplace of the skyscraper, home to visionary architects, a city that rebuilt itself from ashes to become a marvel of engineering. But by 2075, Chicago has transcended even its legendary ambition. The city hasn't just grown upward, it has reimagined what vertical living means. This is the story of how Chicago became humanity's first true vertical metropolis, a city in the sky. The transformation began with crisis and opportunity colliding. By 2030, Chicago faced severe urban sprawl, winter heating costs spiraling from climate extremes, and infrastructure strain. But the city possessed unique advantages: legendary architectural expertise, strong building codes, stable geology, and Lake Michigan providing unlimited fresh water. The decision was made. Chicago would build upward at a scale never attempted, creating vertical neighborhoods that functioned as complete cities unto themselves. The Chicago Vertical Initiative, launched in 2038, pioneered the Sky Tower concept. These weren't traditional skyscrapers, but complete ecosystems, rising 300 stories high. Each tower contains residential units for 50,000 people, schools, hospitals, parks, shopping, entertainment, and employment. Everything needed for daily life. Residents can live weeks without leaving their tower. Self-contained vertical communities replaced sprawling horizontal suburbs. The engineering required breakthroughs in material science. Carbon nanotube-reinforced concrete provides strength-to-weight ratios impossible with traditional materials. Active damping systems counteract wind and seismic forces. Buildings literally sense and respond to environmental stresses in real time. The towers don't just withstand Chicago's famous winds, they adapt to them. Architecture became responsive, not static. The first Sky Tower, named Jane Addams Tower after the social reformer, opened in 2048 on the south side. Initial skepticism faded as residents experienced vertical neighborhood life. Morning coffee at a cafe on level 75. Children walking to school on level 120. Evening parks at level 200 offering sunset views. Communities formed vertically as they once did horizontally. Neighborhoods existed in the sky. Transportation within towers revolutionized elevator technology. Magnetic levitation elevators travel both vertically and horizontally within buildings. Multiple cars operate in single shafts. Express elevators reach top floors in under 2 minutes. Local elevators stop every few floors like vertical buses. Elevator systems became three-dimensional transit networks. Vertical mobility matched horizontal. Sky bridges connect towers at multiple levels, creating aerial neighborhoods spanning multiple buildings. Residents walk or bike between towers at level 150, with Chicago spread far below. Bridge parks provide green space suspended in air. Shopping districts exist entirely above ground level. The sky became the new ground floor. Urban life happened at altitude. The historic loop remained at ground level but transformed. Classic architecture preserved as Chicago honored its heritage. But above the historic buildings, new towers rose seamlessly. The Willis Tower, once Chicago's tallest, became the base of a structure 3 times its height. Old and new architecture integrated vertically. History wasn't erased, but built upon literally. Energy independence was achieved through comprehensive, renewable systems. Solar panels cover every exterior surface using photovoltaic paint that generates power. Wind turbines integrated into building designs harness Chicago's legendary winds. Geothermal systems tap heat from deep underground. Each tower generates more energy than it consumes. The vertical city powered itself. Water management utilized Lake Michigan sustainably. Advanced filtration systems purify lake water for each tower. Gray water recycling reduces consumption by 80%. Rooftop capture systems collect rain and snow. Water used in towers returns to the lake cleaner than when extracted. Vertical living achieved water sustainability. The lake remained Chicago's greatest resource. Vertical farming revolutionized Chicago's food supply. Every tower includes agricultural levels, producing vegetables, fruits, and fish through aquaponics. LED lighting optimized for plant growth operates 24/7. Chicago produces more food per capita than any American city. The vertical city fed itself. Agriculture moved indoors and upward. Schools transformed through vertical campus design. Elementary schools on lower floors allow young children quick access. Middle schools occupy mid-level floors. High schools near tops provide inspiring views. Students learn in state-of-the-art facilities with outdoor playgrounds on sky terraces. Education reimagined for vertical living. Schools became sky campuses. Healthcare achieved new accessibility. Medical clinics every 25 floors provide basic care within minutes of every residence. Specialized hospitals at major levels serve multiple towers. Emergency care accessible within 3 minutes anywhere in vertical city. Telemedicine connects residents to specialists worldwide. Health services became ultra-accessible. Medical care was always close. Chicago's legendary winter transformed through vertical living. Heated internal environments meant residents experienced constant comfort regardless of outdoor temperature. Enclosed sky bridges eliminated weather exposure during commutes. Ground-level streets, now less trafficked, easier to maintain. Winter went from hardship to irrelevance. Weather became optional experience. The Art Institute of Chicago expanded vertically. Museum floors at various tower heights display collections. Visitors ride elevators through chronological art history. Contemporary galleries near tops with natural light. Digital archives accessible throughout vertical city. Art became omnipresent. Culture distributed through altitude. Professional sports adapted to vertical reality. The United Center remained, but supplemented by sky arenas at tower tops. Basketball courts with transparent floors allowing views of city below. Baseball diamonds on terraces hundreds of floors high. Swimming pools suspended in sky. Sports venues became architectural features. Athletics happened at unprecedented heights. Restaurant culture exploded with venues at every height offering different atmospheres. Street-level restaurants maintained traditional Chicago dining. Mid-level establishments served neighborhood residents. Top-floor restaurants offered fine dining with spectacular views. Celebrity chefs operated multiple locations vertically. Culinary scene distributed through altitude. Every level had cuisine. Public transportation revolutionized through aerial gondola systems. Glass pods travel between towers and across the city on cable networks. The L elevated train became the M mid-level transit system serving tower populations. Ground level reduced to freight and specialized transport. Transportation became three-dimensional network. Movement happened at multiple altitudes. Affordable housing was mandated throughout vertical city. Every tower required 30% of units at below market rates. Economic integration happened vertically. Low income, middle class, and wealthy residents shared same buildings and amenities. Income segregation eliminated through inclusive design. Vertical living democratized. All economic levels had access. The University of Chicago and other institutions operated vertical campuses. Classrooms, labs, libraries, dormitories, all stacked efficiently. Research facilities at tops for specialized equipment. Underground particle accelerators extended below ground. Campus life became vertical. Students lived and learned in 3 dimensions. Parks and green space multiplied through vertical distribution. Sky parks every 30 floors provided recreation and nature. Trees and gardens thrived in climate-controlled environments. More green space per capita than before vertical transformation. Nature accessible to everyone regardless of height. Parks happened everywhere. Chicago's music scene thrived with venues at all heights. Jazz clubs at historic ground-level honor tradition. Rock venues mid-tower served neighborhood crowds. Electronic music clubs near tops attracted youth. Symphony halls with acoustics perfected by vertical isolation. Music culture distributed through altitude. Every genre had elevation. Waste management achieved zero landfill through comprehensive vertical systems. Chutes separate waste by type automatically. Organic matter composted on agricultural floors. Recyclables processed into building materials. Everything reused within tower ecosystems. Circular economy achieved through vertical integration. Waste became resource. Emergency services transformed for vertical reality. Fire departments stationed every 50 floors with specialized equipment. Medical responders distributed throughout towers. Emergency response times under 2 minutes anywhere. Vertical evacuation plans practiced regularly. Safety systems redundant and sophisticated. Emergency preparedness achieved unprecedented levels. The Chicago River, once reversed to protect Lake Michigan, now flows through Vertical City in decorative waterfalls and water features. River restoration brought natural beauty to tower interiors. Water features provided humidity control and aesthetic appeal. Historic river reimagined as architectural element. Water flowed vertically through city. Libraries evolved into vertical knowledge centers. Physical books on lower levels. Digital archives mid-tower. Makerspaces and innovation labs near tops. Libraries became community centers offering far more than books. Knowledge access distributed through altitude. Learning resources everywhere. Retail transformed through vertical distribution. Necessity shopping, groceries, pharmacy. Located every 25 floors for convenience. Specialty shopping districts at major heights. Luxury boutiques near tops. Every tower contained complete retail ecosystems. Shopping became ultra-accessible. Convenience achieved through vertical distribution. Chicago's immigrant communities maintained cultural identity through vertical ethnic neighborhoods. Korean communities clustered on certain floors. Mexican neighborhoods at other heights. Polish communities elsewhere. Cultural districts existed vertically as they once did horizontally. Diversity preserved through conscious integration. Religious institutions operated at various heights. Churches, mosques, synagogues, temples serving communities. Interfaith spaces encourage dialogue. Sacred architecture adapted to vertical context. Spiritual life thrived in sky. Faith communities elevated. Childcare solved through vertical proximity. Daycare every 20 floors meant parents dropped children minutes from home and work. Extended family often lived in same tower, enabling grandparent involvement. Village concept reimagined vertically. Children raised in vertical communities with abundant support. The Chicago Botanic Garden expanded through vertical greenhouse networks. Climate-controlled environments grew plants from worldwide. Educational programs taught urban agriculture and ecology. Research into vertical farming advanced botanical science. Nature study happened in sky. Gardens climbed toward clouds. Manufacturing returned to Chicago through vertical industrial parks. Automated factories produced goods with minimal environmental impact. Advanced manufacturing created jobs without pollution. Industrial areas isolated at specific heights kept noise and activity separated from residential. Manufacturing integrated sustainably. Industry came home vertically. Social services centralized in tower hubs accessible to all residents. Mental health clinics, job training, legal aid, addiction treatment. Comprehensive support within minutes. Service integration improved outcomes. Help was always close. Support systems worked better through proximity. The legendary Chicago wind, once challenge, became asset. Wind turbines between towers generated massive power. Airflow patterns studied and optimized for energy generation. Buildings positioned to channel wind efficiently. Weather that once hindered now powered. Wind became Chicago's greatest renewable resource. Pet ownership flourished with sky parks designed for animals. Dog parks on various levels. Veterinary clinics accessible. Pet grooming and services throughout towers. Animals integrated into vertical life. Pets lived comfortably in sky. Vertical living accommodated all family members. Senior living achieved ideal conditions through vertical accessibility. Elevators eliminated mobility barriers. Healthcare close regardless of floor. Social programs on multiple levels. Aging in place became easier than ever. Elderly thrived in vertical communities with everything accessible. Seniors lived independently longer. Chicago's theater district vertically distributed performances. Classical theaters preserved at ground level. Contemporary venues mid-tower. Experimental spaces near tops. Theater culture thrived at every altitude. Performing arts everywhere. Drama happened at all heights. Telecommunications infrastructure achieved unprecedented reliability. Fiber networks throughout towers. 6G wireless blankets every level. Communication never failed regardless of weather or disaster. Connectivity became absolute. Digital infrastructure matched physical. Food delivery transformed through vertical logistics. Pneumatic tubes delivered small items instantly between floors. Drone delivery to tower landing pads. Robot carts moved through internal corridors. Food arrived hot and fast regardless of location. Delivery optimized for vertical geography. The comedy scene flourished with clubs at neighborhood levels. Stand-up venues where residents performed and attended locally. Chicago's improvisation tradition continued vertically. Laughter happened everywhere. Comedy clubs became community centers, bringing neighbors together. Historic preservation extended to documenting Chicago's transformation. Museums at various heights told story of vertical revolution. Architectural tours explained engineering breakthroughs. Educational programs taught urban evolution. History became living curriculum. City documented its own transformation. Disaster preparedness achieved through comprehensive planning. Towers designed to function independently during emergencies. Food, water, power reserves for weeks. Emergency protocols practiced. Chicago learned from past disasters. Vertical city built for resilience. Survival systems redundant and robust. Wedding industry boomed with venues at spectacular heights. Ceremony spaces with cloud-level views. Reception halls serving thousands. Photography locations unmatched anywhere. Couples married in sky surrounded by city views. Weddings became vertical celebrations. Love happened at altitude. Startup incubators throughout towers fostered entrepreneurship. Office space affordable and accessible. Business services centralized. Networking happened naturally through vertical proximity. Chicago's entrepreneurial culture thrived in new vertical economy. Innovation happened everywhere. Privacy achieved through architectural design despite density. Soundproofing between units perfected. Private terraces at premium units. Communal spaces balanced with personal space. Density didn't sacrifice privacy. Vertical living offered both community and solitude. Balance achieved through design. Construction workers became elite professionals trained in vertical building techniques. Specialized skills commanded premium wages. Construction careers provided middle-class prosperity. Building vertical city created skilled workforce. Blue-collar work elevated to specialization. Construction became prestigious profession. Chicago's lakefront remained public and accessible. Ground-level parks preserved as historic spaces. Beach access maintained for all residents. Millennium Park continued hosting events. Historic public spaces protected even as city grew upward. Lake Michigan remained Chicago's front yard. Insurance industry transformed by vertical building safety. Advanced fire suppression, structural monitoring. Emergency systems reduced risk dramatically. Insurance costs decreased despite concentration. Safety technology made vertical living safer than traditional. Risk managed through engineering. Insurance rewarded innovation. Tourism exploded as visitors worldwide experienced vertical city. Observation decks at various heights. Tours explaining vertical living. Hotels accommodating tourists wanting to experience future. Chicago became must-see destination. Vertical revolution attracted global attention. Tourism industry boomed. Climate control within towers maintained perfect conditions year-round. Humidity, temperature, air quality optimized for health and comfort. Outside, weather irrelevant to indoor experience. Climate became controlled variable. Weather optional. Comfort constant. Art galleries distributed throughout towers made culture accessible. Art wasn't concentrated in museums, but integrated into daily life. Public art throughout common spaces. Artists given affordable studio space. Culture democratized through distribution. Art everywhere. Water recycling achieved such efficiency that towers could theoretically operate without external water supply. Every drop used multiple times before discharge. Chicago's water technology became global model. Conservation through engineering. Sustainability through innovation. The blues scene that defined Chicago music continued in intimate venues throughout Vertical City. Ground-level blues clubs honored tradition. New venues at various heights brought blues to residents everywhere. Musical heritage preserved and expanded. Blues remained Chicago's soul even in sky. Language education flourished through vertical diversity. Residents encountered multiple languages daily. Language exchange programs natural in mixed communities. Children grew up multilingual. Diversity created linguistic opportunity. Babel Tower became reality, but unified, not divided. Mental health improved through community proximity. Isolation reduced when neighbors lived vertically close. Social support systems natural in vertical communities. Depression and anxiety decreased. Loneliness combated through architectural design, promoting interaction. Mental wellness architectural outcome. Vertical City achieved carbon-negative status by 2070. More carbon captured through green systems than emitted. Chicago became climate solution, not problem. Environmental achievement proved vertical density sustainable. Other cities studied Chicago model. Vertical living saved planet. The transformation wasn't perfect. Some struggled with vertical living. Nostalgia for horizontal neighborhoods persisted. Challenges remained. But trajectory was clear. Vertical future worked. Density didn't sacrifice quality of life, but enhanced it. Chicago proved vertical possible. As evening falls over Chicago 2075, the Vertical City glows with lights rising to touch clouds. Hundreds of stories of human life stacked efficiently yet comfortably. The city that invented the skyscraper reinvented urban living itself. Architecture solved problems of sprawl, climate, and community. From ground-level historic districts to sky-high parks, from neighborhood schools to cloud-level restaurants, Chicago proved that vertical density enhances rather than diminishes human experience. Chicago's vertical revolution offers lessons for cities worldwide facing space constraints and climate challenges. Density doesn't require sacrifice. It enables community, sustainability, and quality of life impossible in sprawling suburbs. The technology exists. The engineering is proven. What's needed is vision. Chicago demonstrated that humanity's future isn't limited by ground. It extends to sky. Vertical living isn't compromise, but opportunity. Chicago 2075. The vertical city in the sky, where neighborhoods exist hundreds of stories high, where elevators replace cars, where density created community rather than destroying it, where architectural innovation solved urban challenges that seemed insurmountable. The city of big shoulders lifted those shoulders toward the heavens and showed humanity how to live when horizontal space runs out. Welcome to Chicago. The city that proved up is the way forward.